Hi humans, it's Hannah, and I am currently reading multiple books at a time, and when I say multiple, I mean multiple. I have recently acquired this new habit where I pick up books before finishing the ones that I'm on, and it's not something that I used to do at all. It's something that made me feel very uncomfortable, and I have grown too comfortable to it. So now I'm reading a lot. So here are the books that I'm currently reading, and they're the ones that I'm hoping to finish before the end of the month, and moreover before the end of the year. So I think I'm gonna go in order of what I started. The first book is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Don't think I really need to explain what this book's about, but it's meant to be about like living in the now and the present moment and the power of that and the peace that it can bring. And this is the one book on this list that I have debated multiple times just dropping and not finishing because his tone doesn't mesh with me. It's just I don't know, but at the same time I am so intrigued by the concepts and the messages in there, and I do think that there would be value in them. So I don't know, I'm going to try to finish it, but I don't know. The next book is Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I really enjoyed the eat and the pray, but then the love part I'm a little iffy on, just because a lot of it is with I can't pronounce his name. It's the Medicine Man. If you watched the movie or read the book, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of it is with him, and it just feels like kind of reiterations of things that she learned previously, or like previous life lessons of hers. I don't know. There's just something that I find a little bit boring about the love part. To be fair, there isn't any love happening quite yet, but I don't really see the love part intriguing me either. But at the same time, I love her voice as an author in general, and I do really enjoy her writing. So I do want to finish this, even if that little bit might not be my cup of tea, but it could be. It could be my cup of tea. I don't know. I shouldn't be judging prematurely. But this is the next book that I picked up, and I feel like it's been taking me so long. It shouldn't have taken me this long, but I've been kind of picking it up, and I've been annotating quite a bit of it. I think you can see that. And like I kind of reflect on certain things, and so it was taking me longer, but also I wasn't always feeling like reading a nonfiction, so I would pick it up and then kind of just like drop it when I just wanted to read something else, and then I'd pick it up whenever I felt like it. So I think I've been reading it since August or July. Yeah, it's been a while. I also started a collection of poetry by Mary Oliver titled Dreamwork, and the nature of Mary Oliver's poetry, no pun intended, happens to reflect on nature and use it as a way for her to grasp difficult moments in her life and to kind of find meaning in significant moments. And I have been enjoying this, but because it's poetry, it's not something that I just kind of sit and read through, even though it's quite small, but it takes longer because I like sit, read, analyze, do some research on context, read up a few different interpretations to compare them to my own. It's kind of a process, but it's one that I'm enjoying, so I haven't been rushing it. Ideally, I would like to finish it before the year ends, so maybe picking up a few poems a day rather than just like one every now and then might help me finish it. However, if it carries on to the next year, I won't be too mad about that. I think this is the one book that I'm just like, whatever. Then, by the end of November, I picked up The Beautiful Fall, and it is fashion genius and glorious excess in 1970s Paris. It mainly follows Yves Saint Laurent. I don't know if you can see him. He's like right there. It is a chunkier read for multiple reasons. It's like kind of denser. The text is tiny. I don't know if you can like see that, but can you see that? I think you can. The font is quite tiny. And on top of that, if you can also tell, I have annotated this to death, and I've only read just like 58 pages of this. So yeah, it takes a lot because I would stop and like look up certain references and context, and I'd research people mentioned or collections mentioned. So it's taking longer. Oh, and I did forget to mention that this is by Alicia Drake. So that's the author. Next, I also picked up The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, and this is a reread for me because I have last year claimed that this is my favorite book, and I kind of want to go back and reread it to experience it, and also to figure out if it still stands as a favorite book. It is going to be a favorite, but I wonder if it's my favorite, period. And 3, because I want to go back and properly annotate it. I left only 2 little sticky notes in here, but I want to go back and properly annotate it, and I kind of have something in mind for this. So yeah, I'm really happy to be rereading this, but at the same time, I think that because I already know what's happening, it's taking me longer to kind of get into it. But at the same time, there are things that I'm noticing now that I didn't notice last time. So it's cool, it's fun, it's a fantasy, it's about hidden worlds and books and mysteries and stories, and I feel like December is the most magical. Like from October to December is my favorite time of the year. December is my birthday month. It feels very me. It is just very atmospheric, and I just wanted something that felt very me around this time. So that's the reason I wanted to pick this up again. Then I also started Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. This is a middle grade series, and I read Small Spaces, the first book in the series, in October, and it was perfect, and I wanted to pick this up in the winter. And this is a faster paced book because this is a middle grade, so it's a lot easier to read. It's very plot heavy. It's really fun and really kind of thrilling and like keeps you on the edge of your seat. That's how I felt about the first book. So far, I've only read 25 pages of this book, but I'm feeling the same way, so I do hope that this is something that I just fly through and helps me kind of balance out the other heavier reads that I'm on and just kind of have something to fly through. Next book that I'm reading, and it's actually the last book, I promise, so far, and it is What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey, and I will pop title of it on the screen. This is a book that I have just started on audiobook, and I had a few Audible credits. I don't read many audiobooks or listen to any audiobooks. I don't enjoy audiobooks as much as physically reading something, but if I will listen to an audiobook, it is normally going to be nonfiction. That's the kind of audiobook that I would enjoy. And I had a few titles in mind that I wanted to get, but some were not available to me for whatever reason, like for my region or something. So I figured, okay, I want to replace them, find something else that I would enjoy listening to. And I think if I recall correctly, I kind of winged this one. I just kind of looked at a few options, kind of looked around and just decided, you know what, let's just try this one. This is kind of just like a compilation of life lessons from her. I'm about 25% in. I am enjoying it so far. And again, it's just something that is kind of quick, something that I can just listen to and when I'm doing other things. So it's a multitasking check for me. And at the same time, it is a change of tone and pace. And it's weird because this month, I feel so all over the place, and this might be why I'm picking up so many things, because I can't for sure tell or decide what I'm feeling or what I want. And so I'm just kind of all over. Maybe what I want is variety. Maybe this is my theme for the month, variety. And so I am just kind of playing around with all sorts of books, all sorts of genres, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it. Like, a part of me was just like, oh, maybe I'm not reading one book at a time because I'm having trouble and I'm in a reading slump. But in hindsight, I feel like maybe it's because I'm enjoying the variety and there's just something interesting about this. Like my thoughts are kind of all over the place. My reading's all over the place. Life is currently all over the place. So it just feels like it's kind of complementing the reality. Other than these books that I'm already on, there are two books that I would like to read before the year ends. And they are Exciting Times by, I had to look up her name, Nisha Dolan. I had to look up how to pronounce her first name because if you can see the spelling, it is Naoise. And I stared at this name for a moment and then I thought, oh wait, she's Irish, isn't she? Of course. Irish people have the most insane spellings I have ever seen of names. And I had to look it up. Apparently it's Nisha Dolan. And from what I gathered, this is about an Irish teacher who moves to Hong Kong for a job. She's an expat there, and it's kind of about the situation of her living as an expat. And I think she's in her 20s, and there's a bit of like a mental health situation in here, which if I will read contemporary, this is the kind of stuff that I'll read. I recently just filmed a video, which I will plug one more time, with my friend Dana, and we talked about about our different reading tastes because she's a contemporary reader and I'm a fantasy reader. And this is what Dana describes exactly as like girl in her 20s living in a city with mental health, and that's the kind of contemporary I also enjoy. So yeah, if you haven't watched that video already, I will pop it on the screen in the description box below and at the end of the video if you would like to watch that as well. I recommend it. It was a good time. So there's that. And then the next book that I really want to get to before the year ends is Blueitz by Maggie Nelson. And this is meant to be Maggie Nelson's musings on the color blue. And I love it. I love the concept. I've been wanting to pick this up for so long. It was first brought to my attention by this girl on Instagram. I don't remember her actual name, but her handle is Coffee and Books. And she mentioned this like a while ago, and it was apparently one of her favorite books, and I was so intrigued by the concept, and I've been thinking about it ever since, and I would love to get to this before the year ends. So yeah, these are all the books that I'm hoping to finish before the year ends. I hope that I do. Pray for me. I mean, the world's not gonna end if I don't, but I just really, really want to finish these books before the year ends, and maybe pick up one more book, Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. But I figured I shouldn't mention it because, you know, this is enough. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe, because that really helps me out a lot. If you've read any of these books and have any thoughts on them, please do let me know in the comments down below. If you want more content, you can click either video on the screen, and I will see you in the next video.